Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed by a wave of sensations, unsure of their origin or how they gained such a tight grip on you? The seemingly intertwined web of emotions and feelings can lead to confusion and misunderstanding. It is a frequently encountered dilemma, often rendering one inexplicably anxious in professional settings or unusually elated after completing a task. Grasping the subtle differences between emotions and feelings is pivotal for emotional intelligence and personal development. While they are often used interchangeably, emotions and feelings are distinct phenomena. Emotions are swift and innate reactions, physiological responses orchestrated by your body to stimuli, an intrinsic, subconscious mechanism. Consider the instinctive fear that grips you upon perceiving a looming threat or the immediate pride that burgeons when acknowledging success. These are automatic processes, cascading through without conscious deliberation. In stark contrast, feelings are born from reflective consciousness. They are the mental narratives crafted after the raw emotional response. Predicated upon personal interpretation, they assign value and analysis to emotions, frequently accompanied by judgments or labels such as "I am anxious," "I am not good enough," or "I am proud." Feelings morph into the lens through which we perceive and identify our experiences, shaping our subjective reality. This comprehension, differentiating between emotions and feelings, has a profound impact on mental well-being. It permits you to relinquish the blame associated with natural, automatic emotional responses and instead focus on managing the subsequent feelings. Self-awareness burgeons as one learns to distinguish: is this sensation an emotion that my body is experiencing or a feeling crafted by my mind? Such recognition serves as the cornerstone of emotional mastery. Awakening to the true nature of these experiences might very well alter your interaction with the world indefinitely. Emotions are fundamental, entrenched in the primal regions of our brain even before conscious awareness can crystallize them into thoughts. These automatic, nervous responses predominantly originate from the amygdala, a small, almond-shaped cluster of nuclei nestled within the temporal lobes, essential for processing emotions. The quintessential embodiment of this primal reaction can be observed in scenarios where a sudden loud noise instantly ignites a cascade of physiological responses: an accelerated heartbeat, heightened muscle tension, and rapid breathing. This exemplifies the rapid, instinctual essence of emotion, preconditioning the body for primitive survival choices such as fight, flight, or freeze, well before the cognitive apparatus is engaged. Emotions articulate the universal language embedded in human biology. Fear, anger, sadness, joy, surprise, and disgust are cardinal emotions, echoed across cultural divides, signified through tangible physical expressions like a clenched jaw, perspiring palms, a surge of adrenaline, or the fluttering sensation in the abdomen. This epitomizes emotional intelligence at work, where the nervous system delivers nonverbal cues reflecting situational assessment and intrinsic needs. What renders this area of study intriguing is the transient nature of emotions, momentary waves, imperceptibly fleeting within seconds or minutes. Contrastingly, feelings diverge as enduring states emergent from the narratives we construct around the foundational emotional experience, potentially spanning hours to entire lifetimes through repeated mental storytelling. This differentiation between emotions and feelings becomes pivotal as it underscores the initial somatic signals versus the ensuing mental narratives sculpted by past experiences, beliefs, and assumptions. The cultivation of self-awareness begins by attuning ourselves to these corporeal indicators. Acknowledging rather than neglecting bodily sensations like a weighty throat or an energetic surge within the chest prompts inquiring what messages our body might be conveying. Engaging in such reflective practices enhances emotional regulation by arresting impulsive reactions and allowing a momentary pause to discern the emotion fully, affording a conscious choice in how to proceed. Significantly, emotions do not function as moral adjudicators, but as pure signals devoid of interpretative bias. The transformative ability to redefine these signals into constructive feelings and calculated actions is where genuine empowerment resides. A forthcoming exploration will delve into the genesis of feelings from entrenched thoughts, beliefs, and recollections, elucidating ways these processes intricately weave into the fabric of mental health and personal evolution. Once emotions are sparked by bodily experiences, the mind plays a crucial role in converting these emotions into feelings, providing depth and nuance to human experience. Feelings, unlike emotions, are not instantaneous. They are constructed from a combination of thoughts, past memories, ingrained beliefs, and future expectations. Consider the scenario of a racing heart following an unexpected loud sound. In such instances, the mind begins to analyze. That surprised me. I'm feeling anxious, or there's potential danger. Each analysis uniquely transforming the raw emotional response into a personalized feeling. Additionally, feelings are profoundly influenced by one's upbringing and cultural context. For instance, if one was raised in an environment where expressing anger was frowned upon, the emergence of anger might transform in the mind into feelings of guilt or shame. Conversely, if one grew up in a setting that celebrated achievements, feelings associated with joy might quickly morph into pride and motivation. The journey from basic emotion to intricate feeling is guided by one's internal dialogue. The practice of self-awareness is pivotal in navigating this emotional landscape effectively. Recognizing not just the emotion, as perceived by bodily sensations, but also the subsequent thoughts, allows for the interruption of negative thought cycles. Distinguishing between emotions versus feelings is more than theoretical. It is instrumental in achieving emotional intelligence and fostering mental well-being. By acknowledging an emotion and deliberately choosing how to interpret and respond to it, one engages in emotional regulation actively. To enhance this process, consider this strategy. Upon experiencing a potent physical sensation, take a moment to inquire, what mental narrative am I adding to this emotion? Is this narrative truthful or advantageous? Through continual practice, one may cultivate greater mastery over feelings, subsequently gaining influence over behavior. This empowerment is a cornerstone for personal development, progressing toward emotional mastery, the capacity not only to feel but to determine how feelings guide actions. Forthcoming discussion will delve into tangible examples that illustrate how the conflation of emotions and feelings impacts daily life, and how achieving clarity in this area enhances the ability to form stronger interpersonal connections. The intricate dynamics of emotions and their subsequent impact on our lives form a compelling narrative, intertwining psychology with lived experiences. Using illustrative scenarios, this discussion navigates the interplay between emotions, immediate, physiological responses to stimuli, and feelings, which are persistent mental states shaped by emotions. Imagine the daunting scenario of preparing to deliver a significant presentation at your workplace. The moment you step onto the stage, your physiological responses manifest almost immediately. Your palms become moist with sweat, your breath comes in rapid, shallow bursts, and your stomach begins to feel as if it is churning with an internal turbulence. This scenario exemplifies the emotion of anxiety, a reaction to a perceived threat or challenge. Often, if this emotion is disregarded, it triggers a cascade of negative thoughts, anticipations of failure, fears of embarrassment, or feelings of inadequacy, further perpetuating feelings of insecurity and dread. Identifying such a moment is crucial to cultivating self-awareness. Imagine a different approach where, as anxiety begins to manifest, you consciously intercept this emotional response. Instead of succumbing to an avalanche of negative cognitions, employing emotional intelligence enables you to label the emotion accurately. This is anxiety, a standard response in high-pressure situations. By engaging in deliberate breathing exercises, reaffirming your comprehensive preparation, and permitting the feeling to naturally subside, you can convert an autonomic response into an opportunity for personal development. Alternatively, consider the context of daily interpersonal conflicts where someone abruptly interrupts you during a conversation. This intrusion often activates a pronounced surge of anger. If left unchecked, this anger can be internalized, evolving into persistent resentment or bitterness, emotions that can detrimentally impact one's mental well-being. However, taking a moment to pause, recognizing the presence of anger, and introspecting with a query such as, "What is essential for me right now?" can unlock pathways to constructive communication and personal growth. The mastery of emotions is cultivated through these seemingly simple, yet profound interactions. The distinction between automated reactive behavior and the deliberate choice of response has transformative potential. Understanding emotions versus feelings is just the beginning. True change comes from integrating this awareness into your everyday routine. First, build a habit of checking in with yourself. Take moments throughout the day to pause and ask, "What am I feeling in my body? What story is my mind creating about it?" This simple question bridges the gap between emotion and feeling, strengthening self-awareness. Next, practice emotional regulation. When you notice a strong physical emotion, give it space. Breathe deeply, move gently, or write down your sensations. Let emotion pass through before attaching a label or judgment. Over time, this pauses destructive cycles and prevents you from being hijacked by old patterns. Third, challenge your inner dialogue. When feelings of anxiety, sadness, or anger linger, ask yourself, is this feeling truly accurate, or am I replaying an old story? Replace harsh critiques with compassionate truth. This step feeds your mental health and supports long-term personal growth. Surround yourself with people and environments that encourage open expression and emotional honesty. Sharing your discoveries about emotions and feelings can deepen relationships and build collective emotional intelligence. Each conversation becomes an opportunity for healing and greater understanding.